won 20 of them, so, which is remarkable enough. 19 times he's been second, 9 times third, so, and finished in the top 10 70 times out of 100 goes. Truly remarkable. If you'd just taken his second and thirds, he would have had an amazing career. And he's still battling away, although he was telling me the other day the old eyesight's getting a bit dodgy from long range. For a 2 at the 12th is, that swung viciously across the hole in the last 6 inches. Looked to have the pace to take it right in. It slid right across from left to right. It was a 4-inch swing in the last 9 inches there. Truly remarkable man, Jack Nicklaus. Jack Whittaker was saying about the bunkers, beautifully sculptured bunkers. Now, we saw Greg Norman's second shot to the 11th. He had a putt about this distance at the last hole, which he knocked a good 5 feet past and holed the one coming back. But he's got this to go 11 under par. Nice, easy, comfortable stance to the ball. Nice firm wrists. No. Always left. No, he's had 2 shortish chances, no more than 10, maybe 12 feet on the last 2 holes. Then another par tucked safely away. And on to the next. Jim Thorpe birdied the 12th. We saw a good tee shot from Jim. Greg Norman now still 4 ahead after 11 holes. Now let's, this was on videotape. Jim Thorpe at the 12th. This was his putt for a 2. Was 4 under at the start of the day. Now even, but not for long. Look at the curl on this one. And that was really moving when it hit the hole. Thank you, my lord. That would have slipped by a nasty length if it had missed. The 11th, Payne Stewart for a birdie, and he just kept it to the left side. He's been up and down a bit like a yo-yo today, but still in there battling away.
Shark prowling on the tee. Can sharks prowl?
Exactly right there. Just a little left of that orange tower.
Hit it for the guy in the green shirt.
That's what you do. If there's no wind and you can't see it, can't see the flag moving. Of course, they do have pin positions given to the players, and they know approximately where it is. It's always nice to see it.
Bad news for Jack Nicklaus fans. Remember, just before we went for the commercial, he almost made a long birdie. Well, he missed the putt coming back and ended up with a bogey. Drops to 3 under. On tape, here it is. This was for the par. Par 3, 12th hole. It's not stock action. That's the way he waits. Look at that. Even as you and I occasionally.
Well, you make a great putt at 11 for 10 for bogey, and you make a great birdie putt, long one at 11. Now you stand right up and miss a short one. This game drives you crazy.
Tell me. Greg Norman now. With his tee shot on the same hole.
Right distance, but a pretty good way away. Big break there, left to right. Is the ball still moving?
Better move now to Bruce Litsky, who's at 3 under on the 14th green for a birdie that could bring him to remain at 3 under as it is.
What a good player he is, Jim. He doesn't play a whole lot. Really comes out occasionally before he goes to his little hideaway in Oklahoma, just wins a whole sack full of money, and then he goes fishing.
Now Nicklaus on the 13th hole, par 5, 523 yards. look at that.
Well, that's kind of
Eddie, that looks like a tremendous tee shot.
Well, it is, and it's a par 5 that they can reach, and he has driven it right in the narrowest part of the fairway. Just perfect, just the way you dream of driving the ball there.
You know, I looked up his statistics this morning in this PGA Championship. We saw those other ones a little while ago. He's completed 24 PGAs. He's finished in the top 3 12 times. In the top 3 50% of the time. So Nicklaus moves on, coming off a discouraging bogey. He never lets it shake him, does he? It's a couple times today we've seen him come off bogeys that should have been discouraging, and he comes right back. Maybe you saw our program last night, but maybe you didn't on that. There was a very interesting interview with Greg Norman in which Al Troutwig talked to him about his preparations the night before and the morning of a round, coming to the last 2 rounds. Here's what he had to say.
I'm not one to think about things once I leave the golf course. Once I'm gone, I'm gone. I don't reflect on anything during the day. Laura and I never talk about it. She never asked me a question. That's the beauty of a wonderful relationship like that. She doesn't like to play golf, so she doesn't ask any questions about it. So when I finish my day's work, I'll finish my day's work. And that's great. So I go home and have fun with the kids and just sit down, have a couple of beers, watch TV, and hit the sack. Unfortunately, we play late, I guess, tomorrow, and you can get up late out of bed. But I never think about it. When I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is open the drapes and find out where the wind's coming from. And then I'll start analyzing how the holes will play before I even get out there. And, so basically, I'm playing the golf course while I'm sitting at home. Knowing where the wind direction is. Obviously, you don't know where the flags are and the greens, but you know your tee shots and where the wind's going. So I prepare from a round the morning I wake up.
He couldn't do that in my room at our hotel. If I stick my hand out the window, my window looks over the indoor swimming pool.
Oh, you got the good room, though.
Okay, there is Greg Norman in 1986. Look at that, 17 starts, 2 wins on the tour. British Open Championship, 6 times in the top 3, 9 times in the top 10, $564,000, but that doesn't include the British Open, which is called, quote, unofficial money.
Well, that's a new record, too, 564.
Yeah, but he's well up. He's close to 700,000 and everything he's gotten this year. The announced attendance today, 22,597. It looked like a big crowd, and it is.
They love their golf here in Ohio. We've had quite a few majors here this year.
Well, it's our 3rd one, sure. Seniors, the women's, and this one. Well, they have a lot of fine golf courses where there's concentration.
Well, he's got a tough putt here. This is a big breaking putt. Remember, Jim Thorpe was on the same line practically a little while ago, so you know it's going to have a big swing left to right.
Talk about big crowds. There's the attendance again. We are told that next year's U.S. Open at the Olympic Club in San Francisco is already sold out, attendance-wise. You believe that? Well, it's true.
I believe it.
Okay.
You said it.
This to go 5 under, to move to within 5 strokes of the lead.
Come on, hey.
Get up.
Bob Tway in 2nd place, remember. 4 strokes behind Greg Norman. Bob Tway is 6 under today. Let's have a look at Peter Jacobsen. Well, let's see. Ed?
He's to the left side.
Yep, in the rough. Tough rough near the green. He was going for it in 2.
Yes, he had a shot that he could have easily reached the green. I think he probably had about 215 yards.
Now back to the 12th hole, the Norman group. Should Bob Tway par in from here, he will shoot 65 and tie the course record, which was set 2 days ago, day before yesterday, by Greg Norman, who is about to putt.
Yeah.
Hold it. That is really swift. Once it starts to break, begins to pick up speed there.
Now Nicklaus going for the green. His 2nd shot on the par 5 hole, 523 yards. Trying to get back into the fight. Doesn't like it.
That's left.
No, he's hit this ball well to the left. Looks like it's going into the bunker to the left of the green and short.
Yep.
Did his line maybe cause that a little bit, Ed? It looked like his feet were a little below, or looked like it was a little awkward.
Dave, I don't really think the lie caused it. I watched Jack warm up this morning, and it appeared that he was starting almost every shot to the left of his target, and he was holding the ball and playing a fade. But since he's gotten on the golf course, he started a lot of balls to the left, but has left them that way, and they haven't come to the right.
Well, now he's going to have a downhill lie out of the bunker. Not his best shot.
That's the 13th green you're looking at, the end of the par 5, where Jack Nicklaus is now playing, and he had some things to tell us about this particular hole.
The key shot at the 13th hole is taking a slight gamble on the tee shot and trying to put it into the little narrow neck about 300 yards off the tee. If you can do that, you've got a good opportunity to make birdie or even eagle. If you miss that neck, though, because of the little creek that crosses the fairway, you leave yourself with an awkward chance for 5.
Well, he did all right with the tee shot, David, but now on the second shot, he's put it there in the bunker to the left. I think he had a little trouble here on the opening round when he started out so well, and it looked like he might get birdie or eagle here, and he started to go a little soft.
Or made a par here, and then he bogeyed 16,
Right.
17. He didn't finish well the first day, and then he 3-putted 18 yesterday, so he hasn't finished, I know, like he'd like to have finished in either of the first 2 rounds. You don't want to let these opportunities go by when you can reach par 5 with an iron. He's not known as a good bunker player, but that's a good shot.
Right underneath the hole, putting uphill for birdie. Now we go to Greg Norman.
Same hole.
Par 5. Try to drive it down into the narrow neck, as Nicklaus did. Is that a driver or the 3-wood he has?
Looks like a driver to me.
Come on, ball. Come back. Come on. Come on. Come in.
Hold on. That ball's way to the right. Into the right-hand rough. Just short of the bunker here. He's going to have no chance of getting it on the green. He's going to have play a good shot to get across the creek.
Well, that's what happens maybe when you try to hit it too hard.
That's about the second one he's lost to the right. He lost one at 9 to the right, if you remember.
Yes, and came up with a good lie there.
This is Jacobson up at the green chipping. Put his second shot there.
So hard to judge out of that grass, Jack. If you do miss it, though, you've got to keep the ball below the hole, as you pointed out about Jack's. I mean, you don't want to slide that by the hole and be putting downhill. You can be a little more aggressive going uphill there. Like they've gotten it closer, though, obviously.
Here's how she stands at the moment.
D.A. Weibring got in today with a good round.
Ronnie Black, all of those in red figures.
How about Tony Sills? What a round he had today, up and down, huh?
Well, he finished 1 under 70, but he had it going so well. There's a lot more of them.
Bobby Watkins been playing very well lately. Finished a shot back last week at the Western of the playoff.
Craig Stadler, who won his amateur championship on this course.
Have you seen Davis Love hit a golf ball? Ooh, man. Make you drool.
Calvin Peete. Wayne Grady from Australia. Tom Kite. Former champion Lanny Watkins.
I thought he might play real well here. He just couldn't make a birdie the first day.
All right, this Monday, ABC's Monday Night Baseball action continues as the reborn Los Angeles Dodgers chase the NL West leading Houston Astros, or baseball's best team, the New York Mets, and pitcher Dwight Gooden at Philadelphia. Check local listings for the game in your area. Action begins live at 8 Eastern this Monday on ABC Sports. Jack Nicklaus.
Yep. Head still.
Whatever Jack said to him, he agreed. That's the usual way it is with Jack.
Yes, sir. Head still. And 3 days in a row he has parred this hole, which is a birdie opportunity.
You have to figure it's your best opportunity of the last 6 holes because it's a reachable par 5.
Now there's Norman's tee shot. Just beyond that bunker there on the right-hand side. And Rossi, you say there's no chance of him getting home, hmm?
No, he has a fairly good lie, but a very awkward stance. I believe he's going to have to stand with either 1 foot in the bunker or try to go with both feet in the bunker and just be sure that he gets across the creek.
Whose ball's in the bunker, Bob?
Mike Hulbert has driven into the bunker.
Now Bob Tway has just birdied 17 to go to 7, just 3 shots behind as we go up to the 13th, and Peter Jacobson for his birdie to go 6 under. How did you stay out? There's nobody opened the door.
Oh, was that a good putt?
Bob Tway is on his way, 3 shots behind the leader, and here he is, the leader.
130. About 180, 188 to the top of the hill. Front edge.
Front edge.
What kind of lie?
Got Houdini out of this line?
What's wrong with that lie?
The lie is pretty good. The stance is not too crash up, partner. 188. Well,
Why couldn't it stop right here? Sitting up.
why couldn't it stop right here? You know, we got driver.
We don't need driver. We only need 3 wood. No. Out of here.
Jack, I'm sure when he said 130, that was to carry that creek. You want to know that, and then you want to know how far to the top of the hill, and then he didn't want to hear anything about where the green was.
That's the lie. The lie is fine, the stance is terrible. Huh?
You got to be careful, because if you do slip a little, you try to get a little too much here, and you hit it thin or hit behind it, you bring that creek right into play.
Hit it way left. Way left.
Got to watch that when your left foot's way below your right foot, right, Bob?
Yes, he had a really tough shot. It just came shooting out to the left, David. I can't tell where it is, but I don't think it's very good.
Not the way the people are running down and when they're down on their knees looking at it, you know it's not too good.
So Greg Norman momentarily trembling a bit, not much, but a bit, over there somewhere. We'll have to see what the situation is as we move ahead to the 18th in our hole model.
Marvelous par 4. Off the tee, you can't see the right side of the fairway there. Most of the players are using iron or a fairway wood to lay up. As you see it from the player's viewpoint. We pull back. You can see the hump there on the right. You can't see that part of the fairway. I think a great hole because it's so short and yet so difficult. It's just 354 yards long. He's going with one of the metal clubs, it looks like. Just want to stay.
Par in will give him a new course record. A birdie will put him within 2 of the leader. And remember, Norman has not finished the 13th yet.
Now, this is 1 iron or 2 iron here, Jack. People like it. And that's perfect.
There he is, right where you're supposed to be, in the middle of the fairway.
Well, now this is on tape. Greg Norman, second shot to the 13th, finished under the tree. And Bob, this looks like real trouble.
Well, he's going to have to hit it left-handed. He just can't get at it right-handed at all.
Now that's all he could do, just squat it out to there. Now he's played 3. Now this is live. This is his 4th shot. He could lose certainly 2 strokes here if he's not careful.
The shot is blind also. He can't see a thing about where he's going. Got a shot of about 100 yards, and that's going to come up well short.
Well, at least he's in the neck short of the green, and still a delicate chip and a putt to salvage a 1 over par 6, and just shows you how dramatically things can change. Bob Tway has made a tremendous move. He wants a 4 for a new course record. Is walking down the 18th at this very moment, and Greg Norman might drop 2 strokes here, and suddenly that 5-stroke lead disappears, and there's only a shot or so in it. It really keeps going right to the end. You never know what can happen at this game. I think that personally that was a bit of bad management there from Greg Norman. He in many interviews lately he's been saying how he's learned to manage things much better, but that really was a little wild. He'd found a bad place from the tee, and the only thing really he had to be careful of was to miss the stream, and well, he's in trouble. And we'll go back to him as a minute. We'll go to the this is Donny Hammond at 16, 4 under par. This for his par, which he gets with a great air of confidence. And a good round today. David Frost, who played so well last week, he's had a 68. Now back to the 18th, and the man of the moment, Bob Tway. 7 under for the championship. He's played his tee shot here, and one can only marvel at the great skills of the players today. On a course of this quality, to be in this position, if he can get a 4, he'll be round in 64, setting a new course record, which really is truly amazing, because this is not an easy course. It's in beautiful condition, and my word, what nerve and skill. Another good view of Tway's setup. And rather unlucky not to get just 1 extra bounce forward. And a very slopey putt there for a birdie. A tremendous round of golf from Tway, whose expression never changes, so if you meet him on a train, don't play poker with him. Now here's the 13th hole. Greg Norman pushed his tee shot to the edge of the bunker, then he fired across onto the bank under the trees, tried to play out left-handed and backwards, so he's still on the bank in 3, and he's fired one up, a blind shot to here. This is his 5th shot for Greg Norman. He's hit it hard. It's checking. I don't believe it. I don't believe it, and neither does he. The golfing gods must have touched his shoulder today, because, my word, that really doesn't happen when you need it. We thought Jack Nicklaus had created a miracle by getting a 5 at the 10th, but this will go into the record books of the greatest 5. Here's Bob Tway at the 18th. Huge gallery there, enjoying the afternoon sun. This beautiful day. Now he's got a putt here for a round of 63, believe it or not. We thought when Greg Norman set the new record of 65 a couple of days ago that, well, when will we see the like of that again? Well, Bob Tway has 2 putts to break that record and post a score of 64 strokes. Scores get better and better and better, and I'm sure Dave will be thinking about that. Quite remarkable, isn't it, Dave, the scoring here? Did you think a putt for a 63 was going to be on this week?
No chance, Peter. This has been a great golf course for a long time, and Fred Couples there's even par for the round. I'm sure he feels like he's shooting 100. Huh?
He's having an amazing run, though, Dave. He blew it all on the first 9, Fred. He was out in 40, and he's had 5 birdies on the back 9. He needs to just chip it in. It's gone past with delicate little bunker shot. So Couples has come back from the grave on the back nine.
It's a good thing you and I weren't playing Couples and Tway today, right? They've made a few birdies.
Listen, we had enough trouble with you and Jim McKay the other day.
These players think different, I believe, Peter. They think so much more aggressively, and shooting a low score, they don't let old Inverness get in their eyes, you know. They don't have any respect for some of these old golf courses.
Mike Hulbert at the 14th for a birdie. Hulbert's kept things going very well. He's 4 under par. He's new to this business and doing very well. And a good birdie. Kept things going very well. That's part of the fascination of this game, seeing new names, seeing how they're going to cope with the pressures and the situation. Back on the 18th. Bob Tway. Well, asking a lot to hold this, but after seeing Greg Norman get that miracle par of the century back at the 13th, anything is possible. But let's hope he takes no more than 2 putts. Just for a 63. What a great try. And still the expression remains the same. Well, certainly one of the great rounds of all time, if he can just finish it off for a 64. And how privileged we've been to see some of it. Quite amazing.
Peter, it seems like someone does it every week. Norman's round on Turnberry Friday was a great round.
Yes, indeed. Here's Peter Jacobson, the 14th. He's got a chance to go 6 under. But what relief for Norman and his fans, getting away with a par at the 13th. Well, Jacobson a long way away, as you can see. More realistically, 2 putts for his par. And he'll do well to get down in 2 from long range. Sets it out wide, top of the hill, turns in. Oh, yeah. That is unbelievable. That was a 5-foot swing on that. He can't believe it either. But I think it's amazing that the USGA have putting machines that can't get them in the hole every time on a flat green from 6 feet. But these fellas can do it. Here, back on the tee, still the leader by 3, Greg Norman. 14th tee. 448 yards. And a beautiful drive. And how relieved he must be. Greg Norman then, with just a handful of holes left to play. He's leading by 3 from Bob Tway. Tway, who has a putt on the 18th green for a new course record.
A few moments ago, Bob Tway putting for a par that would give him a 7 under par round of 64, a new course record at Inverness. He started the day at even par. He was 9 shots off the lead. He is now 3 shots off the lead. A crowd of more than 22,000 letting him hear it. That sounds like the applause after a winner on Sunday. Here's his scorecard, 32-32 for a 64 and a lone 5. Only 1 5 on that scorecard on the 9th hole. That was his only bogey of the day. He had 8 birdies and 9 pars. Now, I remember about an hour ago, I said, you know, this seems to be one of those lull times you have in every tournament where nothing seems to change. Since then, we've seen nothing but spectacular golf.
That's right. We almost had a big change there. Greg chipped that ball in. Bob's unlucky. He's not just a stroke back.
Mike Hulbert on the 14th fairway. Hulbert 4 under, still 6 off the lead. Just off the green. Golf course playing a little easier today, our statistician tells us. Peter Jacobson on the 15th tee. This is a par 4, a long one, 458 yards. Most of them are long. Jacobson started the day 4 under, now 5 under.
Good drive.
Here's Donnie Hammond. Donnie 3 under for the day, 4 under for the championship. He's tied for 4th place with Payne Stewart and Mike Hulbert. Jack Nicholson another stroke further back, and up ahead is Norman by 3 over Tway, by 4 over Peter Jacobson now. Yes, he did in fact go to Jacksonville University, but he went to high school in Frederick, Maryland. His dad used to take him up to Westminster, which is near Frederick, as you know, and watch the Baltimore Colts train up there in the summertime. There was a 9-hole golf course nearby, and that's where he started. Greg Norman, the Enchanted One.
He's got some lucky stars here today.
It's a 165-yard shot right there.
There he is.
But you just never know in this game. Now, he had good birdie putts at 10, 11, as Donnie Hammond here at 17. This is the most severely sloped of the greens here at Inverness. And if you get behind this hole, it is really fast coming down this hill. Watch this.
Oh.
And of course, just as slow. Look at that slope.
Mm-hmm.
I was told they took a step meter reading from the back of the screen before the tournament. It was 28 feet.
I didn't think it went that far.
While you're checking the leaderboard there, the British Challenge is disappearing. Ian Woosnam out in 41 has finished with a 74, 4 over, a 72 for Ken Brown, 5 over for the championship. But we're back with Peter Jacobson on the 15th.
It sounds kind of crazy. I'm liking hitting good 7. Well, I'm liking the best.
Well, we're liking a good 7 the best here for Peter Jacobson. 6 under. 4 shots behind the leader.
He's a little downwind, Jack, and probably about 180 yards.
He's got a level lie. Is his...
Yeah, he has a good stance. Good lie and a good stance. He started it well to the right. It looks like to me he's going to miss the green to the right. Short and right.
Yeah, disappears into that terrible stuff.
I don't know why he hit that shot. He's been hitting very good iron shots today for the most part. Just probably didn't make the swing that he wanted to.
Now at the 14th. This is still another birdie putt for the leader. Boy, I thought I saw him make 3 of the greatest pars in the world, a wing foot in the Open in '84. But this one he just made here is unbelievable. What is with the gods of golf, huh? They let him chip in for par, and they take that beautiful birdie putt away.
Well, that's what I was going to say. He's, you know, makeable, very makeable birdie putts at 10, 11. Couldn't make them, and that one stays out.
All right, and now the man that's chasing the shark very hotly. Al Troutwig with Bob Tway.
Thank you, Jack. When you consider, Bob, that of all the great players to have stepped to the first tee at Inverness to attack this course, no one has ever walked off 18 as satisfied and as successful as you, a 64. For someone who doesn't change his expression very often, you must be willing to change it right now for what you've done today.
Well, sure. I'm extremely pleased. You know, I went out today with hopes of shooting a good round and get, closer into the tournament, and it ended up being a very low round. So I'm extremely happy. I think I've got myself back into the golf tournament. So, good round tomorrow. Who knows?
The interesting thing about Inverness is that it only has 2 par 5s, which is normally where the PGA Tour players like to pick up their birdies. There's only 2 on this course, and yet you were able to birdie 2, 3, 7, 8, 11, 13, 15, and 17. It's quite a run.
Yeah, I made 8 birdies today. I had 1 lone bogey on number 9 where I 3-putted, but I hit the ball extremely well. I only missed 1 green, very few fairways, so at least I gave myself, chances to have birdies. And I made some long putts out there, which I think you need to do in order to shoot a very low round. And then I made the putts, the other short birdie putts that I had.
So now here you are sitting in great attacking position prior to the final day of a major. I'm getting a deja vu. We did this at Shinnecock. On Saturday, you and I chat. On Thursday and Friday, you were in a great position there. But then on Sunday, things kind of fell apart, and then Ray Floyd emerged from the field. What did you learn that day, if anything?
Well, I think in any golf tournament, maybe even in particularly a major, I think you have to be very patient. Lee Trevino and I were talking one time. He says it's difficult to win a major, but if you can be patient, people seem to back up. I don't think it always happens, but maybe there's a tendency to do that. So if you can keep plugging along and try to remain patient and try to hit a lot of fairways and a lot of greens, and give yourself birdie opportunities and not make bogeys, then you know, I think you have a good chance to win.
Of course, when I watch you out there, I never really worry that you're going to crumble. You learned so much at Oklahoma State, and every time I sit and chat with you, those memories and the things you learned there always seem to come up in the conversation.
Well, sure. Those were probably the 4 years of my life that I probably learned the most about golf and probably myself as a person. Mike Holder, the coach at Oklahoma State, did a great job, not only with our, you know, physical golf game, but I think the mental side of the golf game too. You know, so I think whatever I learned there is for sure going down the road with me.
All right, Bob, 64 today. You're in good position. Now we'll see how Greg Norman finishes. Thank you. Back upstairs.
This is Peter Jacobsen at the 15th. He's out of the spinach there, and my goodness, look at that. Well, anything out of that, I think, is good. Jacobsen at 6 under, 1 shot behind Bob Tway. And if you want a very quick explanation of why he had a good round today, he hit every green but one.
Yeah.
That is amazing here.
Especially with these little greens that they feature here. Well, it means you drove the ball in the fairway, too.
The ball almost looked
and
embedded.
picked the right club.
But it's got to be in the dirt.
Peter seems loose enough, doesn't it?
He does, but if you remember, back in the fairway, the caddy said you're in between. It probably meant in between 6 and 7. He tries to hit the 7 maybe a little harder than his normal swing and loses it out to the right. Now he's got to struggle to make a 4 here.
Hour at the 15th tee, which is very reminiscent of the 17th at Augusta, isn't it?
Oh,
this
yeah.
angle. Greg Norman. And at the 18th fairway, Donnie Hammond at 4 under. Puts it in high and to the right. Now it's moving back down the hill. And that is a slippery putt he has left.
Ooh, just 2 putts from there would be very good.
And a marvelous round today.
But you have to favor the right side, though.
Tom Watson on the left side of the 18th fairway.
It's about where Tway was, Jack.
Tommy had it at 3 under after 10 holes, but now is back to even.
Just not as confident as he once was. You know, he's playing very well. At this point, so much of the game is mental to a player like a Watson. They reach this level of or caliber of play. To do things like Greg Norman did at 13 and Peter did at 14. Hold those putts.
Maybe split that half a ball somewhere right in there. It's a little bit outside the hole.
All right, a little bit outside the hole, half a ball length or width. And this is for par for Peter to keep him at 6 under.
that. The putt at 13 just melts over the hole. So does that one. And then he holds that seagoer at 14. Tell you, this game will drive you just, you know, they keep a room. PGA keeps a room at Bellevue. The tour's Rich Little, Peter Jacobsen.
Peter Jacobsen. Jack Nicklaus has this for par.
Yeah, but he really needs to make a couple birdies, too. You just can't figure it if Greg Norman stays at 10 that Jack or anyone else can give him that many shots. Jack Nicklaus got to get to about 5 under. He's still going to have a chance.
An exuberant gallery here. Greg Norman by 3 from Bob Tway. Tway 2 from Peter Jacobsen. And then the rest of those were under par. Now Donnie Hammond at 18, a very slick putt. Downhill. Ugly is what it is.
A big swing from right to left here. And if, you know, you can't leave it short. I mean, you don't want to leave yourself the same problem you have here, and yet you can't be bold. But he's putting it about 3-4 feet to the right of the hole, and watch it. Watch it now. That is good.
Not bad at all.
That is good.
A little better angle to come back at.
Well, you want it, you know, obviously trying to make every putt you have, but if you leave yourself one to putt back up the hill, is what I was saying. You can't afford to leave that first putt short. That's when you 4-putt a green, generally. If you leave that first one about 4 feet short, and then you try to make that next one, and next thing you know, it's embarrassing in front of all these people.
Donnie Hammond. He'll be teeing off late tomorrow. Here's the 16th hole where Jacobsen and Jack Nicklaus and Jim Thorpe have come to, and Jack Nicklaus had some things to say about this also.
The key to the 16th hole is a perfectly placed tee shot because the green slopes away from you. A tee shot from the rough will find the ball running through the green and into the rough behind the green. It's a good hole, a tough hole, and one that the fellas are going to have to be careful of.
Back at 15, this is Greg Norman for the moment. And Rossi, what's the situation?
A shot of 155 yards, going a little left. Not very good shot there. And I'll tell you, that is a tough spot to pitch from there.
Yeah, he's got to go downhill at it. And all right, now it's 16 that Jack was just talking about, and here he is.
Big hit. 180.
That's it. He's doing his own voiceover, I guess. He's part of the commentating team.
Own play-by-play, huh? All right, that's right in the fairway, I guess, where you want to be. And let's take a look at it, David.
Yeah, we've seen this swing a million times. But one thing Jack said in the clinic the other day, at the Champions Clinic, was that he was letting his elbow get out a little more than he had been in recent years. You can see right there, that right elbow getting out a little bit. That's what he's trying to do. He didn't happen to hit this ball as well as he'd like to, but he's, you know, this swing you've seen so many times, you can just see it in your sleep there. He looks like he's moving pretty good. Maybe his left hip is turning out of the way a little more quickly than his Nicklaus-like. As a matter of fact, his weight there on the left foot, yeah, see, there was no weight on his left heel, so he was coming over it a little, probably caught it in the neck, and that's why he said 180. And that's the golf expression for when you don't catch it flush.
All right, the crowd at 18 in the clubhouse at Inverness, and the 18th green. Donnie Hammond for par to remain at 4 under.
He likes gardening and astronomy.
Well.
Good round.
All right. Very nice for Donnie Hammond at 4 under.
Jack Nicklaus at the 16th. 3 under par. Can he put in a great finish to get a couple of birdies in these closing holes? Well, he's certainly given himself a great chance there. Beautiful shot from Jack. Now on tape we have Greg Norman from heavy rough, just off the edge of the 15th. Third shot. The leader by 3. Played it pretty well. 16th fairway. Peter Jacobsen.
Come a little left. Come on, come a little.
Just a little bit shy. Just losing it a bit. Payne Stewart for a par at the 15th. Nope. He drops one. 2 over for the day. Very in and out round indeed for Payne Stewart. But a remarkable round from Bob Tway. 64 strokes. It's almost unbelievable. Pulled him right up the leaderboard. Started the day a long way behind. And that amazing round has put him very firmly into 2nd place. Mike Hulbert, 3 under. And very confidently rolled in. He's hanging on. He's more than hanging on. He's really staying with them very well, considering his lack of experience in this situation and at this level of play. Greg Norman, who's had an extraordinary round today. He's had several opportunities for birdies, which he's missed. Had a miracle par 5 at the 13th, and it looks as if he might have taken 7 or 8. This for his par. So confident, you can feel it oozing from him. Bruce Litsky at the 18th, putting for a long putt for a birdie. Starts it way out. Coming in beautifully. Superb putt. Superb putt. It could perhaps so easily have gone in, but from that range, almost a miracle shot. Let's join Al Troutwig in his little Bijou residence and hear who's got with him today.
Thank you, Peter. Donnie, you had a 68 today, 4 under par. You're certainly well within range of a crazy Sunday. You know, many things have happened.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a crazy Sunday for me to win. I think Norman's about 10 under, I guess, out there, but there's not a lot of people between me and him. So if I can go out and shoot, you know, maybe 65 or 66 tomorrow, that's might be what it'll need to take. But then he's going to have to do something. He's playing so well, it's going to be hard for him to, you know, to shoot a couple over par out there. But you know, I'll give it my best out there.
Donnie, there's an important man in your life that I've read about is your father. What do you think he would think about what you did today?
Well, I'm sure he's out there watching. I'd like to say hi to him, and getting ready to take him to Switzerland in about 3 weeks for a tournament over there. So we'll have a great time over there. And he was a big influence on me starting out. We played a lot together, and you know, he just used to do everything for me to get me to play good golf. So it was really, you know, it's really a tribute to him, I think, me being able to play good golf.
I understand that third hole up the side of the Matterhorn is a very tough one. How do you plan to prepare for tomorrow?
Well, just do like I've been doing, I guess. Just been taking it easy at a friend's house this week, and just go back and have some dinner and just try to do the same thing I've been doing. And I've been practicing a lot more this week, so I think I'll go out and probably try to hit a couple buckets of balls and just keep practicing hard. And I think it's starting to pay off a little bit now, the hard work that I've been putting into it.
So many players have turned in great rounds. Bob Tway, yourself, of course, Greg has been playing well, and many others on individual days. How does this rank in terms of days of golf that you've played in your career?
Oh, I think it's one of the best because of the PGA being the PGA tournament, a big major, and I just played real solid today. The only bogey I had was the par 5 on 13 where I hit a bad sand wedge, but other than that, I hit the ball real well and had a lot of chances at birdies, and you know, I putted those greens well, and those greens aren't easy to putt out there. A lot of breaks and a lot of tough putts out there, and I putted real well, made a lot of good 2-putts, and I think it's one of the better rounds I've played in the big tournaments.
Donnie, thank you very much. Peter, a couple of very young achievers, Donnie Hammond and Bob Tway.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Al. Bruce Litsky got his par at the 18th as Peter Jacobson's long putt at the 16th. Donnie Hammond there talking about going to play in the Swiss Open Championship at Cran-sur-Sierre, which indeed is high up in the mountains. It's a great ski resort and very nice golf course there, so he'll enjoy it, his father, I'm sure.
Your alignment there didn't look good. You had it out there a good 5 or 6 inches, it looked like to me.
Just like a boxer with his second in the corner, isn't it?
Say, hey, just a minute, I need to talk to you for a minute, Jay. But you look like you're too far right there to me. When I got in on that putt, it looked to me like that thing was going to break 5 inches, so I kind of understood a little bit. Just a tricky little putt right there. Good speed, though.
Second in the corner. He hasn't laid a glove on you yet. Well, keep an eye on the referee. Someone's beaten me to death. Thorpe for a par at the 16th. Hands low. Short back, push through, and in. Beautifully done. Jim Thorpe making a great comeback. He got a fighting par there. He was 4 under, dropped 4 strokes going out, and he's fought back to 1 under par. So Jim Thorpe continuing to play well in the major events, and particularly well on difficult golf courses. Now Jack for a birdie. This to take him to 4 under. No, and Jack thumps the ground as if a spike mark may have knocked it off, but I think in all truth it was always running a little bit on the low side. But a glorious opportunity missed. Now the meticulous care on this little putt, which he needs to hit just left of centre, but he's only a foot or so away. So Jack gets his par, stays at 3 under, and that's 7 behind the great man, Greg Norman.
We'll get him.
Still the man of the hour, the man of the day, the man of the championship, Greg Norman at 10 under par, leading the PGA by 3 strokes.
Spin. Come down.
Second shot's to 16, and there he is.
Decent putt, Ed.
Well, we've been getting some good comments from the caddies who have small and obtrusive microphones on them today. All of that on a voluntary basis of the golfer. His choice as to whether he would want to have that done or not. Greg Norman agreed. Jack Nicklaus agreed.
Good shot, Greg.
Peter Jacobson agreed.
After you were looking at it.
Been run out a few scores now as we have been on the air for just about 3 hours. Another half an hour to go. Isao Oki playing well in this championship at age 43 now. 3 over. Dave Barr of Canada, who nearly won our Open a year ago. Ken Brown of Britain. John Cook, former U.S. Amateur champion. Fred Couples had a wild up and down round today. David Graham there, a former Open and PGA champion. Hubert Green, the defender, 6 over now.
Also an Open and PGA champion.
That's right. David Frost of South Africa up there at 2 under. He's playing well. He played well last week.
Good-looking player, yeah.
Donnie Hammond, of course, who's in the thick of it now, and Mike Hulbert, who's hanging in there well. Hale Irwin, who won the Open here, 6 over. Peter Jacobsen, of course, at 5 under. Wayne Levy is 1 under. Bruce Litsky, we saw him a minute ago. Johnny Miller, 3 over. Larry Mize, some thought he had a good shot here, but it's not going to be. Lonnie Nielsen there at the bottom of the board is a club professional from the Cragburn Golf Club in East Aurora, New York. He's had rounds of 73, 69, and 71. Extremely good showing for a man who has to spend most of his time running a pro shop, running the club tournaments, selling golf clubs, giving lessons, and just this one time a year, basically, comes out to play with the big boys, and he has played extremely well. He qualified by being one of the higher finishers in the Club Professional Championship, but he only finished 19th in that, and here he is well up on the board. So
he's a good player,
congratulations to him. So there's the last of that. Ian Woosnam, who played so well in the British Open, 4 over. Let's get an update for those of you who have just joined us from Jack Whitaker.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. Today has been quite exciting here for this 3rd round of the PGA Championship. What looked like a runaway for Greg Norman has turned out to be anything but that at the present moment. The early advance was made by Tony Sills, who went out in 30, only to have a triple bogey at 10 to wipe out most of that. Then Bob Tway made a little bit of a move and fell back a little bit. Nicklaus made a move and fell back. But then, very quietly, the shark bit with a birdie at 4 when he chipped in. And he was 10 under par where he is now. But then the fun began. And Bob Tway put together a marvelous round here of 64 with 8 birdies, 1 bogey, and he is now at 7 under. And the thing about Greg is he's been going merrily along with no more birdies. But Greg, you see, makes his birdies the dullest thing in the world. His pars are very exciting. At 13 on the par 5, when it looked like he'd go for at least bogey and perhaps double bogey to really get this thing close, he chipped in from about 10 yards off to save par, and that has been, I think, the most dramatic moment of this afternoon. That and the marvelous round by Bob Tway. Now, once again, here's Jim McKay.
Okay, thank you, Jack. Crowd of more than 22,000 there. Everywhere, including on the roof. Matter of fact, that's where we are in our ABC position. Now, out on 16, there's some sort of a problem Payne Stewart had. Rossi, have you been close enough to find out what was going on there?
No, I really don't know what that is all about up there.
All right. Well, he's about to putt now. Oh, we're told that before he marked his ball, it moved, so he brought a PGA official up. Mark Kazire, the honorary president of the PGA, is with us. What's the rule on that, Mark?
Well, Jim, if the ball moves and the player has done nothing within a club length or done anything that would cause the ball to move, he merely plays it from where it comes to rest. The ball is in play, and he's not exerted any influence on it to move it. So he would merely step up and putt it from where it came to rest. If he had, in fact, addressed the ball, then a penalty would be incurred.
They're looking at it now as to what it did there.
17th fairway. You at home, though, remember that if you have addressed the ball and then it moves, whether you moved it or not, that's a penalty.
You're deemed to have moved it.
Ah, deemed, indeed. Peter Jacobsen in 3rd place by himself, 5 shots off the lead. All right.
Oh, all right, I guess.
Peter's still 1 under for the day, playing extremely well. Stomach ulcer and all. He's got things under control.
Well, at least he knows what's bothering him. When I saw him at Shinnecock, he just did, ooh. He's going to do his act now. Now we're going to get a weather report on how you do that.
If ever there was a man who looked like he'd never have an ulcer, it's Peter Jacobsen.
But those are the ones that have them. Huh?
I know.
It's guys like me that give them. All right.
Okay, Norman. At 16, 1 under for the day, 10 under for the championship. And nobody has ever played 72 holes in a major championship at Inverness under par at all. But today there have been, I believe, 15 rounds under par so far.
That may be how 17 looks from the cameras, but the player can't see the green on the second shot
Downhill.
here. There's the shot that you see. And you have to pick out part of those trees back there to shoot at.
Dave, Jack has driven his ball far enough to look down on the green. He really hit a tremendous drive.
Okay, backing up on him. Well, 3 decent shots there, all of them on the green, and a couple of them within putting range of birdies, but that's not Jack. That's Jacobson and Jim Thorpe. They march down 17, about to go down that little hill. You saw Trevino running down it yesterday in characteristic fashion. Now on tape, Greg Norman putting for a birdie at 16. Watch this one. All right. Greg Norman going to 11 under par, 2 under for the day, a 4-stroke lead over Bob Tway.
Well, actually, what I wanted to say a minute ago, he really hadn't made a putt today. Now, he
That's
made
right.
2 chips, and he's had a number of opportunities for birdies, but not gotten the ball in. Now he makes one.
That's right. Well, there's the scoreboard that the crowd is looking at 18.
You're looking at the 17th green, and on there is the group of Jacobson, Nicklaus, and Thorpe, and here's Jack for birdie.
Just a little hot.
Oh, it's so hard today, isn't it?
Oh, he's still grinding, though. Look at him, huh?
Yep. It hurts. All right, all of them hit fine shots in here. And, of course, Peter Jacobson is the healthiest one of the group, 5 under. One of golf's millionaires. He's won $1,180,000 in career earnings. And this is Jim Thorpe. He's intimidating, I'll tell you that.
I want him on my
You
side.
bet.
Got his Mr. T starter kit there on his neck.
Thinks golf's more fun than football, though. Oh, nice touch.
Just needed to hit it a little more. One of those days, you get off to a bad start on a course like this, it's just not any holes to make your birdies on. Pretty good football player at Morgan State, Jack.
All right, tomorrow, final round coverage live here from Inverness. We'll start at 3:30 and take you all the way until we have a champion. There should be a playoff. It will be a sudden death affair, and we'll have coverage of that.
Starting at the first hole.
Now Peter Jacobson to get back to 6 under.
Really glad to see him playing well. It's not a, you couldn't meet a nicer young man than this guy. And talk about color on the tour. He's got all the color you'd ever want. If he wins some, then we get to see more of it.
Jack Lemon's glad to be seen him playing well, too. No.
Doggone it. Of course, when a player moves it fast, you always know that he's missed it, whatever it was. Whatever it was that caused it.
Dead center short. That's that terrible thing.
Well, a miss is a miss.
I'm thinking, well, if I just give it go straight.
Indecision. You can hear him. I think that hurts more of these guys than anything. Is indecision.
It's a little dicey. All right. Par at 17, but Jack needs at least one more birdie.
17th, Greg Norman's second shot. Over the hill and down she goes. Another beautiful iron shot from Greg Norman, right to the heart of the target.
Good shot.
Only 2 groups now left out on the course. And, well, we understand there may have been a little controversy with a shot that Greg Norman played earlier, left-handed underneath the tree. Mark Kizar is in our tower. He's our official rules man. Mark, what news?
Well, Peter, we had a call from a viewer in California that watched Greg Norman play left-handed on the 13th hole from under the tree and then reported that he thought he had seen a rules infraction. To actually determine what happened, the chairman of our rules committee, Ken Lindsay from Mississippi, went to your booth and to your trailer and took several opportunities to view this tape over and over and over to actually determine that there was no infraction of the rules. Greg did move the club there several times, but he did nothing. It has been determined by the chairman of our rules committee to improve his line of play. Therefore, there is no penalty.
It's interesting. I'm sure people would want to know, Mark, why just one telephone call you would have taken so much notice of, because I mean, looking at it there, it's plain to see that there was no infringement. He didn't scrape the ball out. He took a backswing and everything. Why the fuss, really? Is it just checking and making certain there's nothing goes wrong?
There has at one time been a penalty called on the PGA Tour from a viewer who actually saw a player. I think there's been more than one, but one in particular involved a player who was under a tree who did in fact do something that improved his line of play, and the PGA Tour officials at that time viewed a tape and did in fact determine there was a violation. And we of the PGA of America try to run our championship as professionally as it can be done, and certainly we investigate every possible notification of a rules infraction for the protection of the player as well as the protection of the field.
Thank you, Mark. That sums it up, and no penalty for Greg Norman, who got that miraculous 5 at the 13th. Now, on tape, here's Jack Nicklaus, his final drive of the day at the 18th, a 1 or a 2 iron at this little gem of a final hole. It's only 354 yards, but what a beauty. Nicklaus, 3 under. He's had a couple of good chances over the last 2 or 3 holes for birdies, hasn't been able to take them. And that's what he's got left. The flag, as you can see, perched on the front left half of the way.
1, 2, 3. In the shade, barely. Shade. Shading. I don't see it. Straight ahead. Oh, yeah. Where's that? There it is, right here.
Jack picking his spot where he's measured off from. Billy Martin, his caddy there, checking the distance. The meticulous Nicklaus going back to check again. This great sporting event being beamed around the world. I'm sure many viewers in Great Britain will be up and watching down in Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and many other satellite stations. And what a glorious day's golf we've seen. One of the great rounds of the century done by Bob Tway, a round of 64 around this course. Quite remarkable. Now the evening sun. Jack looks into it, picks his spot. Look at that little small green surrounded by those massive bunkers. Very fast, sloping green, and Nicklaus with no more than a pitching wedge. All those marks there showing where players had been before, little divot holes. Bold one, back she spins, down the slope, and that leaves Jack a very difficult putt indeed, with a huge borrow and lightning fast.
I'll be a little bit past pin high.
He can't see the ball from where he is, so I think he'd be a little bit disappointed when he comes up to find it so far past. Back to the 17th, Greg Norman just had a birdie at the 16th, the leader by 4. He just oozes confidence at the moment. He looks fit and well. Had that spell when he had that blood infection. Nobody could sort of sort out for him. And of course he had that very bad surfboard accident at the back end of last year, around about end of August, September, when he got hit in the face by that surfboard and lost about 8 teeth. But they've made him all lovely and pretty again. And even improved his putting stroke. This for a 3, this to take him to 12 under par. Look at this. No, just fell away. 4 for Norman.
Good try.
He stays at 11 under. Just 1 hole left to play. Interesting this to watch the swing of the putter here. It seems to have a little bit of a loop in it. The putter was on the addressed on the toe and then struck right out of the middle. But Norman certainly putting as well as anybody on the tour at the moment. This was recorded for you, Peter Jacobsen's second shot to the 18th. That's his view over the bunkers and the slopes. And the flag tucked into the bottom left corner. And a very good one. Jacobsen 5 under. And tremendous reception for Jack Nicklaus. Well, we've heard it all many times before, but it still gives you goosebumps when the great man walks up to the green and all his fans applaud. And how privileged we are to have seen such a great player for so many years. We're coming to the end, but don't go far away. More to come yet.
It's Jack Nicklaus.
Yep. That's a good idea. I think that's a great idea. Just knock it in.
Knock it in.
That's a great idea right there. I don't know what the lad is they picked it out, but...
Say, one guy's watching very carefully today is Leo Fraser, our friend who was longtime pro at the Atlantic City Country Club, former president of PGA of America. He got sick here on Tuesday. I had to take him to the hospital, in fact, and he's still there. But Leo, hope you've been enjoying it.
Really done a lot for the Professional Golfers Association. So is this man.
And now the one thing you wouldn't think he'd be able to do there is leave it short.
Well, remember, he hit the last one so hard at 17.
And he 3-putted from just about there in an earlier round. I forget if it was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Yeah. So it's a par 4 for Jack Nicklaus. 1 over par round of 72. Greg Norman now on the 18th tee, ready to finish it up for the day. He's 2 under for the day, 11 under for the championship, leading by 4, coming off victory in the British Open.
What a summer he's had.
Yep. And if they're...
That's perfect.
Watching with pride in Australia, they should be.
They ought to be, because he's not only had a great summer, he's handled himself very well with all this success.
Just looking, okay? It's just fast. That's all. About 5 inches. Something like that.
I'm seeing less than that, Jake. I'm seeing about 3 inches in this putt.
See if the hole can get in the way of this one.
Caddy Mike Cowan with Peter Jacobsen. Peter, 5 under, remember? 1 under for today's round, just to go 2 under.
Oh, man.
Boy, he's had a few of those today. But still, if he taps that in, we'll wind up with a 1 under par round of 70. will be in third place, behind Greg Norman and Bob Tway, who, if you weren't with us, shot 64 today, a new course record. Peter Jacobson, 68 on Thursday, 70 yesterday, and 70 today. Having a fine championship.
He's a great young man, I'll tell you.
He's a fellow who tackled the streaker who ran on the 18th at the British Open last year.
Yeah, that was crazy for him to do that.
What were you going to say?
That was his caddy's total comment.
Caddies are joking, yeah.
Yeah. Jim Thorpe hit a great approach shot here and has this for a birdie.
Come on, get it in there, Jim.
Jim started the day 4 under. He's now 1 under. And now he's 2 under par. Good comeback after going 4 over on today's round. He shoots 73, 2 over par. Puts himself in good position for a big check tomorrow. Jim, who won the 1985 Milwaukee Open and remember was second to Scott Verplank, who was then an amateur in the Western Open in that memorable head-to-head confrontation.
Playoff.
He was 4th on the money list last year, Jim Thorpe. Running into time problems here. Apparently we won't see the last group finish. Hope we'll see their approach shots anyway. A look at the outskirts of Toledo, Ohio, and Inverness, which has seen so much golf history, from Ted Ray and Harry Varden to all the others who have won here, to Billy Burke and George Von Elm playing off for 72 holes before they could settle it. Dick Mayer beating Kerry Middlecoff. But the skyline didn't look like this in those days. This is the rising skyline of Toledo, Ohio, on the shores of the lake. They've got a beautiful development down the waterfront there.
Here they do some great restaurants.
Yeah, that's right. One of the.
How about a lot of
Rouse
towns
Company.
are doing that? Baltimore's done that, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah. Same company, the Rouse Company. It's done in a lot of cities.
119. Plenty of green behind it. 119. Take your time. Get your tomatoes right over here, please. Thank you.
Jim, another unusual thing about this 18th hole, and it is a beautiful golf hole, is that it finishes going west. And usually an architect does not have a hole finishing into the afternoon sun like this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Greg thinks one more decent shot on the green. And pack it in for the day. And there it is. But he's, whoop, whoa, watch that come down. Watch that come down.
Come on, baby, get close.
Yeah,
Get close. Get close.
You heard him. Come on, baby, get close. The man of the year in world golf, almost certainly, Greg Norman of Australia. He's played all over the world. He played the European tour for, what, 6 years, I think. He plays his own Australian tour in their summertime, which starts in our fall.
You got to be strong just to play in them, much less win them.
That's right. And certainly looks like he should have his...
Another look at it from the left side of the green angle there.
That's the way it came down. We're running to the end of our time. He has that for a birdie, which would put him at 12 under and give him a round of 68, a par, to come in at 11 under with a 4-stroke lead, and that's going to be it from us.
Not for us, because ABC's transmission coming to an end, but we're staying on the air. Pictures that they're not even seeing in America. We're going to see the leaders finish, and this is Mike Hulbert putting for birdie, and Clive Clark is watching this alongside me, and Mike Hulbert has stayed in there pretty well today.
Yes, I think he has indeed. He's not totally inexperienced, though. He shot a very fine 65 at Bay Hill to finish second there just a few months ago. He's also finished third in another tournament in the States this year, so but I have to agree, he's doing well.
So that for Hulbert's par 4 on the 18th, and he finishes with a round of 74 today, 2 under for the championship. But Greg Norman and Payne Stewart on the 18th with their birdie chances.
So, a fine wedge shot from Greg, with a great deal of backspin on it, but he will not have an easy putt here. It's coming down the hill. I think there'll be quite a lot of break from the right, and it's really not a putt that he can afford to strike too hard.
Take your time.
A glimpse of the huge galleries around the 18th. You've heard that crowds of, what, around 22,000 at the Inverness club today. And there's Greg Norman with caddy Pete Bender, who was such a tremendous inspiration to him, particularly in that final round at Turnberry, and no doubt he's been coaxing him along in this tremendous third round in the PGA. Birdie chance gone for Greg Norman, but that looks like a simple putt for his 69, a round of 2 under par for him today, and he'll finish with a total of 11 under.
All right. Good try. Take your time.
And you heard there Pete Bender just interjecting with keep calm, and that's the kind of help that Pete gives Greg in a situation like this, Clive.
Good solid round.
Striking those putts well. We've seen hole many from that length and a great deal longer, and he really looks very good indeed on the greens now.
Good try. Good playing there, Clark.
Well, we didn't see Payne Stewart's approach shot to the 18th, but it was a particularly good one, and he too has got a fine chance for a birdie. Payne Stewart, 3 under par for the championship at the moment, and that's what he's got to go 4 under and a round of 72 today. Comfortably in, and a fine finish there for Payne Stewart. Birdie on the last.